The reality you see right now is not the starting point, but the final stage of an invisible process. Changing your life requires understanding that the interaction between cause and effect is the absolute foundation of our existence, and navigating this dynamic with mastery requires a courageous dive into the world of causes. Think of your story as a tree. If the fruit is bitter, there is no use painting the apples. You must go down to the roots, where the invisible shapes the visible. In this video, we will understand why everything seems to be collapsing, and how to use the law of cause and effect to rebuild your reality from scratch. You will discover that the current chaos is not an end, but the gateway to your greatest spiritual awakening. If you feel that, no matter how hard you try, life insists on repeating the same patterns of pain, perhaps the secret lies not in what you do externally, but in the invisible root of who you are. We live in a world of noise, where we desperately seek inner peace, but we often forget that we are the architects of our own destiny through conscious choices. This video is an invitation to authentic personal development, letting go of external control to assume the role of co-creator of reality through spiritual knowledge and detachment. To begin this journey of reconstruction, we must first silence the external noise and look toward where life truly happens, in the deep roots of our being. To understand practical spirituality, we need to look at nature. Imagine a tree. What we see are the fruits and the leaves, the visible effect. But what sustains life are the roots, the hidden and invisible realm. Rabbi Isaac Luria teaches us that the tree is the Torah. Just as there is an upper tree, there is a lower tree. Each leaf receives the soul of a righteous person. The great human error is trying to change the fruit without treating the root. In the tradition of Kabbalah, the inverted cosmic tree reveals that our roots are fixed in the realm of pure consciousness, and the branches manifest here in matter. This symbolic inversion teaches us that the density of the material world is merely the reflection of vibrational subtleties occurring in the silence of the soul. When we ignore the hidden realm, we become slaves to circumstances, trying to fix effects with our hands while the cause continues to pour out imbalance. Spiritual depth demands that we stop fighting the shadows projected on the cave wall and turn our gaze toward the light that generates them. Nourishing the root means purifying intention before action, understanding that the fertile void of silence is the womb where all matter is gestated before being born. Once we understand that the root sustains the fruit, we realize that our greatest strength lies not in the effort to control the branches, but in the subtle art of allowing intention to flow without resistance. Hermes Trismegistus stated, "As above, so below." This is the basis of the law of correspondence and the law of cause and effect. The material world is just an external projection of spiritual forces. Your intention is the brush that paints the canvas of your daily reality. Here lies the paradox of detachment. To change the effect, you must let go of the branches and focus on nourishing the root. Lao Tzu summarized this wisdom by saying, "When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be." Detachment is not indifference, but the understanding that control is an illusion of the ego that interrupts the natural flow of life. In quantum physics, we observe that the observer affects the thing observed. Likewise, your attachment to the result collapses reality into old patterns of fear. By letting go, you align your frequency with the intelligence of the universe, allowing the spiritual cause to flow without the barriers of human anxiety. It is an act of radical trust. You stop being the exhausted controller to become the conscious channel through which harmony manifests. This channel of harmony, however, is often tested by the winds of crisis, which are nothing more than mirrors reflecting what still needs to be healed in our inner vision. How do we restart life when the weight of the past seems to paralyze us? Carl Jung warned us, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Every fall, every crisis of despair, functions as a mirror that reveals a hidden pattern in our subconscious mind. We are not broken. We are in transformation. Inner transformation acts as a catalyst for external metamorphosis. Rumi suggested, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Pain, therefore, is not a mistake along the way, but a compass pointing to where our integrity has been fragmented. Every challenge is a teacher that uses chaos to break the rigid shells of our ego, allowing the essence to finally breathe. By looking at a loss as the necessary pruning of a tree, you stop mourning what fell and start celebrating the sap that is now concentrated on what truly matters. Restarting is not rebuilding what was lost, but allowing a new architecture of consciousness to emerge upon the foundations of truth that the crisis revealed. And this new consciousness that emerges from the ruins finds its first form of expression not in great acts, but in the silent and vibrant power of every word we choose to speak. Your words are spiritual seeds. The language you use does not just describe your reality, it programs it. How many times have you spent energy on misdirected efforts, such as external protests or complaints, without making the necessary internal change? Language communicates our intentions to the higher realms. By using the seed word, you choose a single vibration, such as peace or harmony, and use it as a mantra to reprogram the frequency of the original cause. The word is the sound that gives shape to the void. It is the word that manifests intention on the physical plane. When you say, "I am incapable," or "life is hard," you are issuing a vibrational order that the universe, in its neutrality, simply obeys through cause and effect. The technique of reframing consists of changing the vocabulary of the soul, swapping problem for gateway and end for preparation. By refining your language, you clear the communication channels between your conscious and subconscious minds, ensuring that the seeds you plant today are not choked by the weeds of old limiting beliefs. By purifying our language, we clear the path for our inner compass to finally point to the only destination that brings true peace, our original state of wholeness. The journey to unshakable peace requires the acquisition of spiritual knowledge to remove the veils of the ego that blind us. Conscious breathing is the simplest and most powerful tool to dissolve mental noise and connect us with what we call the state of wholeness. In this stage, you understand that you are not a passenger adrift, but the very engine of your existence. You don't need instant miracles, but a real reconnection with your living soul. The state of wholeness is the recognition that nothing outside of you can fill what only presence can inhabit. It is the transition from doing to being. When you align with this inner compass, the fear of scarcity or the judgment of others loses its power, because you begin to vibrate at the frequency of original abundance. Unshakable peace is born when you realize that, although the leaves of your tree may fall with the seasons of life, the root is connected to the eternal source of all existence. You become the lamp lit in the dark, not because you seek the light, but because you remembered that you are the light itself in expression. Recognizing this light is the final step toward accepting that seasons change, but your essence is eternal. Let the leaves fall. The essence of the tree remains intact. If the pain you feel today were actually a language of your soul trying to guide you, what would it be whispering right now? As a gesture of affection for your own soul, I propose a simple practice. Today, before going to sleep, set aside 10 minutes of absolute silence. Do not seek answers. Just feel your roots. Imagine that this silence is clearing your mind before the subconscious processes the day, preparing the soil for a new dawn. If these words touched something inside you, perhaps it is time to take another step on this path of reconnecting with your inner truth. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to continue receiving content that nourishes the soul with presence and authenticity. Share in the comments what resonated with your heart. Your story might be the mirror someone else needed to find. If you are looking for a safe harbor, know that our community is the sanctuary where fertile silence is shared and deepened. Enjoy the posts on the channel. And to continue expanding this field of presence, we suggest the video pinned in the card. May it be a source of inspiration on your journey. Peace and light.